Xenoverse 2 DLC 17 is here, and of course with that does mean we get some kind of patch notes in some way, shape, or form. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I do miss the old days of big changes coming to Xenoverse 2 in terms of skills. Like, so many skills used to be adjusted and changed back in the day. Like, I believe we used to get like over 100 skills changed in patch notes at times. It's been quite some time since they've done something along those lines, but I think doing that back in the day kind of kept the game a little bit more fresher in a different way, in the sense that so many skills work so much differently than we were actually accustomed to. And personally, I just thought that was something that made Xenoverse 2 a little bit more interesting in terms of the skills, at the very least, at that point in time, because now we only get small changes, like literally 11 things changed this time around in terms of the patch notes, when before, again, back in the day of like DLC probably 5 through 9 or 5 through 10, something like that, we used to get massive changes to the game, and it just made those updates feel that much more fresh in regards to the free content as opposed to just the paid content. But in this, we're going to go over the stuff that has been changed. Now I want to give a shout out to multiple people, the ones who actually are like the team of this, and the translations are done by Vamplosion, quality control by Reach Out. Happy birthday, by the way. Shout out to the homie Reach Out. It is his birthday today at the point in time I'm recording this. And Demon Boy, and then miscellaneous work done by the man's RDF 2050. Shout out to all of them for doing this for the community. They have been doing this for quite some time when it comes to the patch notes. So again, huge shout out to all those guys right there. Now getting into this, guys, we're going to go over this part very quickly. There is some stuff that I want to check out on Reach Out's Twitter that was not actually mentioned in this right here, because what this essentially is the translation of what is put up on the Xenoverse 2 website. This is not all the stuff that was in the files and things like that, because some of the things that are changed in the game are not always put on this right here. But first, starting out with the skill charge, it additionally removed invincibility from the second stage of the hit, and additionally it no longer tracks backwards. Super Destructo Disc reduced damage when hitting an opponent who is guarding. So before, it really did, I'm pretty sure it did the same damage when your opponent was guarding as opposed to when they weren't. Now if you guard this attack, the damage is reduced from what normally it would do. Same with Death Slicer, as you guys can see, reduced damage when hitting an opponent who is guarding. Death Slicer now deals less damage when blocked. Variant Drive, it's basically all these skills had the same effect done to them. Reduced damage when guard break hits an opponent who is guarding. Now it does not do damage when blocked, so that one completely doesn't do damage. Fierce Fist, reduced damage when guard break hits an opponent who is guarding. Justice Combination was changed in a different way. Justice Combination had its armor removed during its initial stage, and Justice Combination no longer has armor on the initial kick. Chain Destructo Disc Barrage, again, reduced damage when hitting an opponent who is guarding. Note the reduced damage on the first hit, because after the first hit you are no longer guarding the rest of the chain. Dual Destructo Disc is essentially the same thing, reduced damage when hitting an opponent who is guarding. Now Ultra Instinct, we did talk about some of this in the video I made in regards to Ultra Instinct. We do know that it no longer takes ki away from you to actually activate. You still need the 5 bars of ki, but it doesn't take away 500 ki when you actually use it. The counter energy, though, was reduced from 2 bars of ki to 1 bar of ki, which is kind of nice. And then also, I did talk about the change in the ki blast, but I did not know that if you only charge it to a mid variation, like if you don't charge it fully, you actually still get the Soaring Fist variation of the ki blast. So Ultra Instinct now has 3 different kinds of ki blast, which makes it very unique from any other Awoken in the game in that regard. It has the normal ki blast. If you don't charge it, if you put a little charge in, you get into Soaring Fist variation. And if you do the full charge, I forget again the name of that move, the Divine Impulse, I don't know exactly what the hell it's called, I forgot, because it's just a move that nobody really uses. But you get that one where like you actually see the full wave of ki, like air ki, being thrown at your opponent. That's what you get when you get the fully charged version. Now Goku Black Super Saiyan Rose had an adjusted value of his jump attack damage. Character presets with Ginyu, such as Ginyu Trunks, Ginyu Goku, things like that, have been changed as well. Their charge ki blast, assist effects, and super souls have been changed. In Ginyu's body, Goku and Ginyu's body and Trunks and Ginyu's body no longer have super souls. Additionally, Trunks and Ginyu's body now uses charge rush ki blast instead of power. Now it says Vegeta made it so he's not a big fan of the government. I'm highly confused on what that actually means, but that's the end of the actual patch notes in terms of the translations from the actual Xenoverse 2 website. Again, I do miss the days personally when there was much more on these and there was much more changes going on instead of just minimal stuff like this right here. Now, moving on to the other things that weren't actually put in the notes. And for that, of course, we're coming to the homie Reach Out on his Twitter right here. Again, shout out to the homie Reach Out for not only helping with those translations or with that version of the patch notes, but also doing the data mining himself and finding all these other things at the same time. Because as you see, Gamma 2 Super Soul, you need to be more careful. No longer activates when you break your own stamina by boost dashing. Additionally, breaking your own stamina with Kaioken or Giant Namekian will not work either, which is a big W in my opinion. Moving on though, there are some other things. This talks about Justice Combination, this talks about Charge, this talks about the Genyus. As you see, the homie Reach Out was on this stuff from the very beginning when the update did drop. We're trying to look at the stuff that, you know, wasn't in the actual patch notes, like this right here. The following characters had their light stamina breaks made slightly slower: Hit Awoken, Few, Majub, Adult Gohan, Turles, Zamasu, Gamma 1, Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku, Mirror Final Form, Kale, Future Trunks, DBZ and DBS, Piccolo, and DBS Gohan. All those characters had their stamina breaks changed, and again, you see the balloons. Shout out to the homie Reach Out. Happy birthday, my boy. Moving on though, we're trying to see more things. This is actually something that comes from the homie S-Jam. S-Jam, shout out to him. This is not like an actual patch note or anything like that, but he just found out that, you know, you don't need necessarily a transformation to use Gigantic Explosion when you're using like the partner variation of Broly, but it does do far less damage. If you take a look at these screenshots, Broly's doing 13,007 right here, and in this one he's doing 23,231, which is just absolutely insane damage. Moving on though, we're trying to find some more. I believe this is the new star coins that's being added to the Festival of Universe event. And is there anything else that was not mentioned? This is about Destructo Disc and all that stuff. This is some stuff, I already showcased this for you guys yesterday. The online bug involving Rose Goku and DBS Broly's souls seems to have been fixed. That's very nice right there. Something that was not mentioned in the actual patch notes, but a big W without a doubt. Has some cool reflex on the next gen version. This is just in regards to next gen. And I believe that is it. That is pretty much all the stuff that has been changed in regards to Xenoverse 2 in terms of the files and what was actually translated, all stuff like that. Again, personally, I miss the days of like the big patch notes where a lot of things would be changed, things would be buffed, things would be nerfed. It just gave a new feel to Xenoverse 2 outside of the DLC itself, and personally I used to enjoy that a lot because it just gave you a new purpose to use some of the skills that were buffed. Skills that weren't so great in the past are now, you know, could be amazing. Stuff like that just gave Xenoverse 2 a new feel from the CAC perspective and from the cast characters perspective, depending on which cast it was, because sometimes you would have cast characters get like 4 or 5 moves buffed between their multiple presets, and it just made some of those characters that much better, or sometimes a little bit worse when it came to things being nerfed. So again, personally, I do miss those days. Let me know what you guys think though down below in the comments. But till next time, boys, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and as always, hope you have a good one. Hey, y'all.